Okay, it's time for another podcast entry or a novelette, a little novelette recording. But I had to run in here really quick. I just wanted to reach out. I wanted to talk to somebody. And so I said, I have to make a little bit of a post situation to express this, to get this out because I'm so happy. I'm so excited. As a dog, you don't get that very, excitement. You don't get too happy about too many things. If you could run after a squirrel, it will make you very happy. But other than that, there's not too many good things. But as the dog, for some reason, I get all tied up. I get all blocked off. I can't talk to anybody but the man. And I even tried. I went to, some nice little, whatever you call them, where they eat outdoors and it's beautiful. And I laid there and I listened. I tried to introduce myself. I couldn't say nothing. I saw beautiful girls. I saw a couple of beautiful, they're so stunning. I'm like a dog. Don't have any kind of a thing for them. But, they're so beautiful. It's like artwork. I want to go over and say hello. I want to talk a little bit. I want to if I could captivate their attention, I could, enjoy their beauty a little bit longer. So this is what I was going to try to do. I couldn't do it. I couldn't make a move. I was stiff. I couldn't get the words out. And I would, for a big long time, I got out with the man. I was getting a little bit too, I was so disgruntled towards him, and I was so unhappy, and I was so dissatisfied, with his choices and his, all his percolections, his divariant percolections that, it's judged up a wall, And I was being demeaning to him. I finally had to say, stop, I can't continue. I got to stop, got to cut it down. So I really annoyed the man. I didn't hang out with him that much. I didn't talk to the man for a long time. And I got so lonely, I started to try to talk to AM radio stations. I've said this before. You understand? I was like talking to the TV, talking to the radio, just trying to talk to somebody. And it worked for a while. It was kind of cool. You could say something to the AM commercials, and it kind of almost was like they were answering you. So it's pretty good. But anyways, I had to run in here and let you know I finally discovered a way I can finally have a good conversation. I know I'll be able to instigate a good conversation. And it turns out all you have to do is introduce a sensitive or argumentative topic. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run around. I'm going to start saying to people, hey, man. So I'll give you an example. I didn't know. I knew the man was conservative. I didn't know he was such a gun lover. The man's a gun lover. And so Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, which I'm a big Joe Biden man. I am a big, I know that runs against the grain, but I'm a big Joe Biden man because anybody's held together by, duct tape and bending wire, a little straw, a little stick man with big googly eyes. He has a big, beautiful smile, and they stretched his skin back and they made his eyes look kind of like a cyborg eyes. And his skin is so taut. He looks like, it's like a prosthesis face he has on. That's what I love about him so much. And, when he babbles, almost like incoherently, but then you're like, oh my God, gotta give him a break. He stutters. And they're like, he stutters. I think he's got the Alzheimer's kind of stuttering because that's some bad stuttering. This man can't choke it off. He can't choke it on. He can't choke it off. But anyways, I love Joe Biden. I love those big, giant, pearly whites, and I love everything about the man. He's, I don't know too much about his policies because I don't read too much about the politics, and I didn't get into politics, but from now on I'm going to get into politics. There's a couple of things I discovered, okay? I was listening to a man talk about Joe Biden. He does not like Joe Biden. He says Joe Biden is the cause of the higher gas. He says Joe Biden is the cause of the Russian attack on the Ukrainians. He says some other things about Joe Biden. I can't remember everything, but the gas and the Russian thing is the big thing. And that he says always, and I didn't know this till today, he says Joe Biden's trying to take away our guns. And I heard him talk about Joe Biden wants to pass a ghost gun law. And he get a ghost gun law. And the mayor said, we don't need a ghost gun law. And I said to myself, well, whatever. I don't even know what a ghost gun is, so whatever. So I continued to try to take my nap and my snooze. And the man, he always nudged me because he wanted to talk to somebody. He wanted to get into it. Somebody could tell, he was antsy for a fight. He wanted to get into it. And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about, ghost gun. I never heard of the term before, it's ghost gun. And so I said to the man, I assume by the name, you're talking about guns you can't trace, so you have the filed off, in the old days, the mafia, they always filed off the serial numbers on the guns. They filed off the VIN numbers on the cars, the serial numbers on the guns. They erased their social security cards and their birth certificates. That's how the mafia always did. But they like to file away. So you found the gun, you couldn't do nothing with it, you couldn't trace it. And these are ghost guns. And Joe wants to do a ghost gun law. And I will give the man credit, because the man, I thought he was talking out of his ass, kind of. But he says it's a ghost gun law. It's like a don't say gay bill law. It's like a ghost gun is like a don't say gay. Somebody renamed it. And the funny thing is, the people that renamed it were trying to cut it down, but the people who started it, they keep the rename because they think it better expresses. You know, Laura Ingraham on Fox News, she says, don't say gay bill. She just says, don't say gay bill. Why would you say it's don't say gay bill if the other side's trying to make you, make it look bad because it's don't say gay? But both sides agree. That's the one thing that both sides can agree on. They both think don't say gay is a good name for the name. It's a good name for the bill. You know, you don't say gay. It works for both sides. Laura Ingraham or Joe Biden or that sassy redhead that speaks for Joe Biden in the press conferences. She's leaving. They should give this girl like $10 million a year because it's the only thing they got going. When she comes out, everybody's happy. When she goes away and Joe comes out, it's like, oh my God, look out. They raised up a skeleton. Now we have to have an anatomy class. Here comes a walking skeleton, man, with some kind of cyborg eyes and stretched, taut skin. He's 80-some years old. He's got like the most taut skin I ever saw in my life with pearly whites. I think those whites are like hypnotic. They're trying to, but when the red-haired girl goes away, that's when we're all sad. But I would just, that was a vignette on the little red-haired girl. I would like to see her stay for a while and do more talking for Joe because it's a little bit highlighted. It's a little better when she's talking, a little less when Joe's talking, but whatever. I love Joe. Sleepy, stammering Joe. I love him. But anyways, I was worried that both sides could agree on, don't say gay, and both sides could agree on ghost gun. Because ghost gun's like, hey, everybody I know who loves guns so much, they say, I want a ghost gun. Where do you get a ghost gun? But the funny thing was, the man was very mad because he said, Joe doesn't need to take away our ghost guns. And we looked it up. And we found out what ghost gun meant. And we both kind of disagreed a little bit right away. But the man, he kept almost running off at the mouth. I was like, I didn't know you're so conservative. He says, I'm a gun advocate. I was like, you sell illegal fireworks to children. And though you draw the line at selling to children, you only sell to the adults. You sell pornographic graphic novels and comic books to adults. But you are a big pro. This is where you have become so conservative. On the other side, you're like a weirdo from Amsterdam selling a bunch of crap that nobody should see. But now, all of a sudden, you become a conservative. But that's okay. I didn't understand it. And that's when the fight kind of escalated a little bit. And the man said, I don't care. You're trying to take away the Second Amendment. It was the Second Amendment they put in that whole thing. And I looked at him. I said, listen, I'm just a stupid dog. Was it the Bill of Rights or was it the Constitution? You don't even know. You never even read either one. You're an idiot. I mean, you had oxygen deprivation. And I had to admit, he said, well, which one is? I said, I don't know. It could be the Bill of Rights. It could be the Constitution. It's in there. It's the Second Amendment. So it's the S. I think the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and then it came the Bill of Rights. I think it's in the Bill of Rights. But I'm just a stupid dog. How would I know? I do remember that was the order. It was the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. They revamped and tried to do the Constitution a couple different times, and they came up with something they kind of loved, and they went with the triumviral branches of government. It was very good. They moved it because I forget if they started in Philadelphia and then they went to Washington. One or the other was a little bit too swampy, so they had to get away. And then when they took the second crack, they wrote the Constitution, and then they realized they messed up a few times, and then they wrote the Bill of Rights. I think in the Bill of Rights is the Second Amendment. I don't even know. It could be the Constitution. But I'm just a stupid dog, so don't ask me. But the man was kind of going off, and I kind of got drew in. I kind of got drawn into the conversation a little bit more. I was like, well, I don't know. Everything I read says if you have a gun, you're more likely to hurt yourself or somebody else, or someone in your house is likely to find the gun and hurt themselves or somebody else than if you don't have a gun. And the man said, no. And I said, I know what. Let me think about this. So what I'm saying is if you don't have a gun in the house, it's harder to hurt yourself with a gun. If you don't have any gun in the house and then a 4-year-old child finds a gun, then it's, he shoots himself by mistake. And the man said, no, I disagree with your contention. I said, what? He said, yeah, it's the same. It's the same amount. I thought, I don't know. Maybe your arithmetic is different. Maybe you're doing some Jupiter arithmetic, but I don't think, if I have a gun in the house and I don't have a gun in the house, there are two sets of risk. And the man denied it. He said, that's not true. You're trying to take away my Second Amendments. And I said, well, whatever. But the funny good thing was like an argument. And I said, oh my God, am I talking so much to the man? And then it dawned on me right then. I was like, oh my God, I could go up to almost anybody as tense, as quickly as this escalated, I could go up to anybody. I could go to a bar. I could go to a street corner. I could say, hey, buddy, what are you? Are you Second Amendment man or what? And I could have a good conversation right then and there. I guarantee. Now, it would be an argument. But maybe argument, maybe that's the thing. I was trying to have a conversation. I should have been trying to have arguments the whole time. I could go up to anybody. I could say, I can't talk to girls. Like a pretty girl. Hey, what do you think? Joe Biden's trying to pass a ghost gun law over here to confiscate everybody's squirt gun. What do you think about that? And she might say, yeah, I think we should confiscate the squirt guns. And then I would switch. I would think about the man. I'd say, oh, no. You need to have a good fake gun to shoot somebody in the head when they're crawling through your window in your dorm room, little girl. You got to protect yourself. And, maybe the girl would say, hey, maybe you're right. But probably she would say, what are you, some kind of idiot? You got to have gun control. And I could say, no, you don't have to have no gun control. You have to have more gun, I could say, if she was a gun control person, I could say, have to have a freedoms to possess the gun. And if she said, yeah, but what you're doing then, you're trading off all these people that get killed accidentally by guns to possess the guns. And I would say, hey, it's a cruel thing. I can't stand it, but that's the truth. We're training all these idiots who kill themselves with guns and they shoot themselves or they shoot other people. But, it sucks, but whatever. You have to have the guns. So you have to keep the guns. And she would say, are you crazy? All these people are getting killed at the movie theaters and the shopping malls and everybody's getting gunned down by guns and mass shootings and all the suicides in the homes and all the little babies who shoot the other people with the guns when they find the gun. And the man said, hey, listen, someday the government's going to come and it's going to knock on your door and you're going to have a gun because the government's going to try to take away all your freedoms and your liberties. And that's it. Everybody's got to be armed. And you have to get, if you don't, or God forbid, someday maybe sleepy-eyed Joe Biden will lose a war to China and China will come in here and we'll have to shoot everybody, have to kill all the Chinese people with our own guns so we keep it at the house, China will be like, what? Russia will be like, what? They got to blow them up because we cannot go in there. That's what we did to the Japanese, that's what we bombed. And, maybe we ought to be a little careful because the reason we bombed the Japanese during World War II was because they're going to fight too hard. They got too many guns. They're going to kill too many of us. We're going to eventually kill them, but it's going to be a bloodbath. Like Iwo Jima. Iwo Jima was already a bloodbath. So they said, just blow up a couple cities. And we'll tell them, you got to lay down your guns. And that's what they did. And that worked pretty good. So who knows? If we lose a war to China or Russia, they might say, we can't capture, they got too many guns over there. If they had a few less guns, maybe, but you better just blow them up because, we got too many guns. So it probably won't work. If your own government comes after you, your own government probably wouldn't shoot nuclear weapons at yourself. So I think the man was probably right in that one. That if your own government tries to get you, it's good if you have a big populace. But the girl, she would probably say, well, what are you, stupid? I mean, all these people got to give their life for something that might happen. These people are really dying. All these people in Columbine in New Jersey, all these little children, and all these people in the movie theaters and at the shopping malls. And really what the man was saying was, hey, it's like a lottery in reverse. It sucks, but it doesn't really happen to that many people. It's like, we can pay this price. And the girl's like, what? You're going to pay this price? But I was channeling the man. It was really me talking to the girl. It was wonderful. Well, this is what I suppose will happen. I suppose, because I haven't tried it yet, but I'm so excited to go try. I'm going to go walking up to people, and I'm going to say, hey, I love gun control. And if they're like, well, I said, well, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, misspoke. I hate the gun control. I want to have more freedoms for guns. I want to have a good argument, a good discussion. Right then and there, we'll have a big argument. And everybody can join in. We can all be talking at the same time. It'll be wonderful. We can all talk over top of each other. That'll be even better. It'll be wonderful. It can be yelling and shouting, and everybody was trying to prove everybody else wrong. It'll be so disgruntled and hateful. That'd be the conversation. I would be thinking this conversation would be an argument, and everybody would probably be arguing. But I would think, I'm finally talking to people. And I might expand my repertoire. I might go by and say, hey, I'm a pro-abortion. I love it when we have a big abortion every time, everywhere. I pull the baby out and smack him upside his head and say, go die down there, baby. I love it. And if the person says, I do too, brother. I'd say, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I'm a big Christian. I want to say you can tell a woman she can't have no abortion. And then a beautiful argument will ensue. It's going to be wonderful. I got pro-gun, anti-gun, I got abortion, I got pro-life, I don't know, whatever. No taxes, some taxes. Whether Pete Buttigieg is handsome or not, which, as a dog, the way I'm voting. But there's going to be a lot of great conversations. It's going to be wonderful. I think I'm going to start off with saying, I'm going to walk into a crowded bar. I'm going to buy everybody drinks. I'm going to get everybody liquored up really good. And I'm going to say, hey, let's split up into have a tug of war. Everybody on this side is who loves a Joe Biden, and everybody on that side who loves Donald Trump. And then I'm going to watch all the conversations that are going to ensue, all the magnificent conversation that will begin budding all over. It'll be wonderful. And I will be basking right in the middle of it. I'm so excited for all the conversation. I can't wait. It's going to be wonderful.